Hello, welcome to CVR English with me Hanisha Kolati, yet another episode on Leader of the Week. Today, we have a senior advocate, a seasoned politician, N. Ramchandra Rao, MLC of Rangareddy, Hyderabad and Mehboob graduates constituency. Welcome to our show, sir. Thank you so much for joining with us. We are glad to have you.
Thank you.
So, sir, moving ahead, with elections round the corner, what are your strategies for winning it?
No, we have two elections. One is graduate constituency elections, and then another is GHMC elections. So it is a double-pronged strategy we have to make now.
Right.
So both the elections we have to win to show to the people and have the confidence that we are the alternative in the state.
Right.
So firstly, the graduate constituency, as I am the candidate and I am a sitting MLC now, our priority will be to how to retain the seat first. So with that we are busy in enrolling our voters in that, and then telling the people what I have done in the Legislative Council, the issues which are raised, the people voice which I raised in the council. So all these things we have to now go to the people with these issues. The second, as far as GHMC is concerned, we have two major agenda before us. One is to expose the failures of the TRS government, and secondly, what TRS government could not do, what BJP can do. That is how we want to put it to the people of Hyderabad. So we would like to coin a slogan. Basically, we are going to harp on the issue of Save Hyderabad and Free Hyderabad from TRS and MIM. This will be our aim, our in fact slogan, and that will be our elections campaign. In fact, what has happened in Hyderabad is that during the last GHMC elections, the TRS party, the government which was in the government, they told people that they are going to change the Hyderabad's face. Yeah. They will make it a world-class city. They will make it look like a Dallas. And then they said that we are going to give beautiful double-bedroom houses for the poor people. And they showcased few houses at Boiguda. Yeah. After 5 years of that GHMC elections now, I would like to ask the TRS government that why you are not able to give a single houses after that. Now again Congress party and TRS party, they are trying to play politics by visiting the double bedroom houses, and now Congress party also realized that there are only few thousand houses, not 1 lakh. So therefore the government has failed in providing housing. Secondly, they say that they have developed bridges and other things by spending 67,000 crores. Now I would like to ask the government, yes, 60,000 crores you have spent, where it has been spent? Your bridges are there. Yes, you have constructed beautiful bridges with your photographs and with your government logos and all. But how far it is going to help the poor of the Hyderabad? See, poor of the Hyderabad, they need good roads. A middle class man in Hyderabad needs good road, timely water supply to their houses, and then good drainage system which doesn't stink during the rainy season, and they don't get infected with the influenza like dengue and swine flu. So now these things are neglected by the TRS government. They were busy in only building the image, the personal image of their leaders, and not bothering about the basic facilities and amenities of the people of the Hyderabad. When rain falls in Hyderabad for 60 minutes and 1 hour, 2 persons die in Hyderabad. One girl of 11 years and another man of 32 years. Both have died only because of the bad drainage system. They fell in the manhole. Their bodies were recovered in the nearing lake the next day. So what 67,000 crores, where you are spent? You are spending the amount to those bridges where a car falls down from the bridge down on the earth. So therefore your priorities are different. Your people's concern is different. You are not concerned about the people, you are only concerned about the votes, and now elections are approaching. Now you are coming with all false promises that again you will change the face of the Hyderabad, you will make it a world class city. Vishwanagaram, but I say in Telugu it is Vishadhanagaram, not Vishwanagaram. That's how. So these things we are going to take to the people, that what you have done. So this is the strategy of the Bharatiya Janata Party, to tell the people that these people have failed and they are again trying to fool you. And there is a saying in English, you can fool some people sometime, but you can't fool all the people all the time. So they are again trying to fool the Hyderabad people, and Hyderabad people are not fools. They are very much wise, they are politically aware. They got once ditched by these people, second time they don't get ditched. That's one. Second is that Bharatiya Janata Party, with the help of the center, with the help of the central government, there are so many schemes through which the Hyderabad, the city can be developed. Not only Hyderabad, we have Warangal and Khammam municipal elections, municipal corporation elections. There also, with the urban development funds and projects, Swachh Bharat is the project of Hyderabad. I mean, central government, where Hyderabad was given 491 crores first phase, and we have been giving every year a lot of crores of rupees for ODF, to contain ODF and to develop the slum-free city and all. So what is the improvement which you have done in that area? You find garbage on the roads, you don't improve the dumping yards, you don't modernize it in spite of the NGT or National Green Tribunal order. So these are certain issues which are good. And BJP ruled corporations are now better. Indore is number one, which is ruled by Bharatiya Janata Party. So therefore we would like to make Hyderabad much more a better place to live than what it is now. I don't say that it is not worth place to live. It is there, but there is contribution of many people. When NDA was there, Atal Bihari Vajpayee spent a lot of money for Hyderabad. Today the high-tech city is there because of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Today you are seeing the Gachibowli Stadium, it is because of Vajpayee, where Afro-Asian Games were conducted. You are seeing the outer ring road, it was because of the central government's the concept, and then allowing them to go for such a project, clearing the environmental obstructions. So these things, when the central government is there with BJP, if you give an opportunity to the BJP, the face of Hyderabad is going to change, and that is our promise to the Hyderabad people.
Right, sir. You've mentioned so many backlogs that have been done by TRS. So you've said that there is a promise from BJP to the people. Can you give us a little more explanation about what are the promises that BJP is now doing for Telangana as a state and Hyderabad for the development? As you've rightly mentioned, there are a lot of issues with GHMC, there are a lot of other issues, developmental issues. So what is BJP going to do now, if at all people have chosen BJP? What is it that people can look at?
See, Hyderabad city basically is one of the most fast growing city by virtue of its beautiful connection. The connectivity to Hyderabad you don't find anywhere in India, any place. It's a natural calamity free city. You don't get earthquakes here, you have a very beautiful atmosphere here, you don't have much humidity, you have, so this is very much conducive for IT sectors. So when the IT sectors are coming here, this need to be a smart city, and smart city means Wi-Fi should be there in everywhere.
Absolutely.
So that moment to use this scientific technology, so this Hyderabad should be developed firstly scientifically, and then secondly Hyderabad, I am talking about Hyderabad, greater Hyderabad corporation limits. I am not going beyond it. Okay. Beyond it is HMDA again. So I don't enter in that arena now. But as far as Hyderabad corporation is concerned, we would like to promise the people of Hyderabad this double bedroom is trash. We are going to give you the benefit of Pradhana Mantri Awas Yojana. With that, every man who has got 30 square yards of land, and even more than that to some extent, they will be given all benefits from the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. They will demolish their present slum house and they can construct their own houses with financial assistance given by the banks under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana with very nominal interest and subsidies also, which the government of India will pay it on behalf of the beneficiary. So this is how we would like to. Already crores of houses have been built across the country, but Hyderabad and Telangana is not part of it, because these people are not implementing Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, though there are lakhs of applications pending before the collector office and RCUS, Regional Center for where this applications are pending. we would like to promise, we would like to announce and assure that those who have applied for the houses under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana will definitely be given the houses as under the guidelines which have been laid down by the Government of India, firstly. Secondly, the Government of Telangana as the Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, they claims that the Basti Dawakhana is their brainchild. It is not so. It is the project by brainchild of Honorable Narendra Modi ji. It is under National Health Mission. Even the salaries to the nurses, the doctors, the tablets, the medicines, everything is by central government, which they are concealing and they are suppressing with the people of Telangana and Hyderabad. Only what this Telangana government is doing, they are giving some space in some community hall and calling it Basti Dawakhana. But in fact, it is a purely central government scheme, 100% sponsored. It is a centrally sponsored scheme of Narendra Modi. So these things we are going to increase to each and every nook and corner of the divisions, the municipal divisions, where people will have a very healthy life. Free medical facility will be given to the people. And then we assured the Hyderabad people that those roads which have been now damaged, those roads which are now, which we are seeing with the pits and then potholes and other things, these roads will be repaired from time to time. We will see Hyderabad a very neat city. We promise them that Hyderabad will have a beautiful environmental area where pollution will be minimized. The lakes under Hyderabad municipal corporations will be protected. They will not be subjected to land grabbing. And these things are there which the common man requires actually. And we assure that with the third phase of the Krishna River, Krishna project, and then Krishna water to Hyderabad and other water bodies in near or Hyderabadis will be getting uninterrupted water supply every alternate day at least by the present setup. So these are our plans which we want to give it to the people of Hyderabad. Moreover, we want to develop Hyderabad in all-round development where the people are coming from other states and they will be given all protection here. The regularization of the house numbers will be there. So we have a certain vision for Hyderabad, Bharatiya Janata Party. So we would like to ask the people to give us the chance to Hyderabad and test us. You have tested TRS. Earlier you have tested Congress. Earlier you have tested MIM. Here you have tested even TDP. But you test BJP now. We are going to change the face of Hyderabad.
Right. Very well said, sir. GHMC had come out and insisted that there will be ballot system for elections. But BJP came around and said EVMs should be used. Why? Why is BJP so insisted on EVMs?
No, instead of asking why BJP is insisting on EVM, I would like to ask the TRS and MIM why they are insisting on ballot papers. Why? Hyderabad is a hub, in IT hub, where the people who believe in science and technology, they are used to the modern techniques and modern science and technology. Yeah. So why do you want to go back? You have to advance forward. Yeah. So why do you want to go back? First question to them. They want to go back only because with EVMs they will not be able to fulfill their evil design of rigging the elections, and EVMs will prevent them. Ballot paper, wherever they are having strength like Majlis Party and other these people, they are trying to misuse the official machinery and they are going to rig the elections for their benefit, and that is our fear. We'll definitely give them a fitting reply if they do so, but it is easy for them. That's why they are demanding for ballot paper. Otherwise, a minister who claims to be IT savvy, a minister who claims himself to convert Hyderabad into an IT hub, today he go back to the century old method of ballot paper. Why? What is the idea behind it? So BJP believes, the Supreme Court said, yes, there is no hanky-panky in EVMs. There is nothing. When VVPAT is there, voters verified paper audit trial, when that is there, with that you can hold elections with EVMs. That's why BJP demanded for EVM. BJP believes that the Election Commission of India or election process in this country is one of the best and transparent in the entire world. People may have a doubt. Even I lost elections in MLA. Maybe my people also thought that EVMs have been tampered. But that is only a suspicion, and suspicion cannot take place of a proof. Right. You don't have proof, you are only suspicion. And Supreme Court also said that nothing to it. When VVPAT is there, there is every possibility that the voter will know that his vote has not been tampered. So therefore, electronic voting machine are advisable to save time, to save money, and under the COVID rules and COVID situation and guidelines, EVMs are the best because minimum human touch is possible with that. But whereas the paper is there, it is a lot of difficulty you will have. How many people will handle it? Then they have to throw bundles, the counting process, the electoral process. It will take a lot of time, money, men. So in order to reduce the burden, you could have gone for EVMs.
Also, you came out in the open and said you would make Hyderabad MIM Mukt.
Yes.
Can you just explain us why and how?
See, MIM party has always been ruling in Hyderabad Parliament, and 7 MLAs from the old city, and also 43 around corporates. Now you tell me, what is the development which the Hyderabad has seen in old city? While the new city people are paying the taxes, old city people when compared to the revenue collections, old city people tax is very less. But you are diverting this amount to that area, and we are not able to see the development also, even though in spite of the funds being diverted. You see the roads there, you see the lanes, by-lanes and lanes and by-lanes there, you see the water system there. For the past 70 years, old city Hyderabadis are facing hell. You don't have a metro to the old city. What is the reason? Now MIM says that we want a metro because it's the people's demand. Now you have changed your stand. Why you prevented metro in the earlier stage when LLD came with design till the old city? You stalled it. Now you want these people to to say that we want metro. This is all drama. TRS was under pressure from the MIM not to extend metro facility to the whole city. Now they say they are going to do it. Now another fact is that what is the law and order situation in the whole city today? What is the law and order situation with the deputy home minister and deputy chief minister? He himself was attacked by MIM people during the last elections. What is the action taken against them? There was a Dalit girl raped in Chadarghat area by these MIM people. What is the action taken by this government against them? So therefore, the old city has totally become a den for MIM, where people don't get any relief. They are being threatened, they are being vandalized, and there is a lot of discontentment among the people of old city of Hyderabad. So therefore, to stop all these activities, there is a need that BJP should come in old city. It is not, we are going to give justice to all, sabka saath, sabka vikas and sabka vishwas. When you come to new city, there are certain pockets where the MIM has got certain clout, they have some influence is there, and that influence is being used by TRS. So in new city area also. So therefore, they both are combining each other, and they are trying to capture Hyderabad. They have already done so earlier. This time, that particular strategy, the people of Hyderabad are going to defeat it. That's why we ask, if you want development, don't give them vote, because they will not develop. Neither they will develop their own areas, nor the Hyderabad will get developed. You have all the bridges which you have now made, SRTP and all. You can see this is all been made only the periphery areas, not in the old city, not in the new cities. Here some you have inaugurated. So these are the certain things where there should be a imbalance. There is an imbalance development. We need balanced development in entire Hyderabad. Then only Hyderabad will get. And BJP has got that vision for urban development. We have experts in us who have a vision for Hyderabad to make it a beautiful world-class city, and it is only possible with BJP, because BJP has got a vision, BJP has got a governmental support from the center, and BJP will, if the people support BJP and throughout the MIM and TRS, they will see the Hyderabad developing very rapidly and very fastly, and it will be a very progressive city in the coming days.
Right, sir. Do you see Hyderabad playing a major role for BJP in taking forefront from both the Telugu states as in a national level?
Definitely, because Hyderabad It's supposed to be a mini India. You have people from across the country. You have Biharis here, you have Bengalis here. Because when I contested from Malkajgiri, it is a mini India because you have a lot of people who are coming from Bengal, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and other places. So therefore, exactly different. Malayalis are there, a lot of Malayalis there in my constituency. So when Hyderabad gets elected, any political party gets elected in Hyderabad, that means they are representing the people of Hyderabad who are widely ranging from one area to another area, one language to another language, one religion to another religion. So definitely this will become a opening of Bharatiya Janata Party's political prospects in South India.
Do you think?
Yes, definitely, and both the Telugu state, not only Telugu state, because the people who are from other side of the Telangana state, the Andhra, they also compose nearly 40 to 50% of Hyderabad population. Like Kukatpalli, Malkajgiri, Sherlingapalli, all these things, if you go, the residents who are staying there, majority of them are from across the other state, the other Telugu state. So when you have that type of population composition, and when they vote BJP, so that means BJP is being accepted universally. So that universal acceptance of the BJP is going to be a example to the country, and it will be a gateway for opening of the political prospects of BJP in South. That's what I feel.
Sir. Also, being a senior advocate, how do you or your team or BJP in South handle the fake news information which is going viral through social media or word of mouth?
It's a matter of concern that the social media, all digital platforms are subjected to fake news. Fake news to defame a government, fake news to defame a person, fake news to bring disreputation to a personal level, false information. We are concerned about it. That can be only stopped by realizing the responsibility by the people who are using the social media first. As a political leader, at least I should not encourage fears. Then we have got cyber laws and very strong cyber laws, and the cyber crimes which are being detected, people should be punished for it first. Then it will be deterrent. So once you see, there are 2 or 3 types of news which is being circulated. One is incitement, inflammatory material is being circulated, that is very bad on social media, on religion, caste or whatever it may be, persons and all. Secondly, you try to spread fear among the people with regard to certain issues, and then false news. Fourthly, you create a fake news and try to make believe that it is true.
It's true.
So like you show somebody incident at Iraq and you throw in as if it is happening in Hyderabad. So these are very dangerous things, and people now they are getting carried away with this, and they get emotions high. So this is creating a lot of problem. See, individually, suppose some material comes on me and all, I can take individual action against the people who are circulating it. But even that is bad. How can you distribute individual? It is my personal life, my liberty is there. How can you defame me with something which is false?
Right.
So these are certain aspects of negativity. But our central government has taken a lot of measures.
Okay.
Acts have been amended. So cyber laws are now tough. So definitely, I feel that the present legal framework and enactments which have been made with regard to the controlling of cyber crimes, and apart from the machinery which the state and central government having, will be enough for dealing with these things. But the only thing is that all these things can be stopped only if the people realize who are using these digital platforms to be responsible.
Right.
Not to spread the false news. See, fun is different.
Right.
You circulate jokes, you circulate fun, that's different. But you circulate certain news which causes a lot of inflammatory material, and causes a lot of discontentment, and then disinformation campaign leads to what do you call, communal violence and the communal divides. So these are very bad. So that one should be very much careful.
I just want to follow it up, sir. Since with the latest technology and artificial intelligence, and with all this happening, a device has a capability of showing any kind of information to people. So we are in a situation where we cannot really understand if the news is fake or real, because it has evolved so much and it has circulated so much. How can we stop those things? How is BJP planning? Because it has taken so many laws, and most of the way BJP communicates to people also is mainly digital. So how is BJP handling these crises? Because it's evolved so much and everyone has a smartphone.
Yes. No, but I tell you, as a party or as a government, we can do very little. Because once it is on the air, once it is digital, no one can help it.
Exactly.
So what we can do is that the service providers who are actually dealing it, they should, once they get the information that it is a fake news, they should block it. They should remove it from there, and they should block the people who are actually circulating it. That can be done by Facebook, Twitter, these people, because they are the Asian office is different, their American office is different, European office is different. So once this fake news comes in to our knowledge, immediately the service providers should be informed about all these things. So one area is that where it can be stopped. Secondly, every responsible citizen, if they feel that this is inflammatory, this is false, this is fake, they should report to the police, either by way of Twitter or by way of digital or mail or whatever it may be, and police should definitely immediately act on it and curb it. Otherwise what happens, it will get circulated to entire communities, and you will face a lot of problem. So there is a system in the entire digital medias that you want to remove it, the content, you can remove it. They have that software. So that way, if any inflammatory is going around, or if any fake news is going around, so it becomes very much important for the service provider to see that it is immediately removed from that, and those who actually started it, that also can be found out in the process. So and then block them, so that they don't use their ID again for this type of activities. Generally these things are happening in the entire world, not only India, not only in Hyderabad, the entire world it is happening. But India is having more such problems because we are a heterogeneous society. We have a lot of communal divide, we have a lot of caste divide, we have a lot of regional divide. So these are the things where you can be provoked very easily with some inflammatory material. So therefore we are more vulnerable to the negative aspect of these digital platforms effects. So that is what is important to understand. It is basically it is not only government, it is a personal responsibility, it is a social responsibility, and also it becomes your digital responsibility to see that you don't involve in such things.
Right, absolutely right, sir. So coming back to Dubbaka polls, what are BJP's hopes for it?
Now we hope to win the seat, in fact, because I have come to learn from the people who are residing there, those leaders who are working there, that this time the people of Dubbaka are going to teach a lesson to TRS. That is the mindset of the people of Dubbaka. See, once TRS loses the seat, government will not fall. So those who are having sympathies to the TRS also, they are not happy with majority of the policies of the TRS government. So they want to show a lesson to them. So they are also voting for BJP. The Congress is not that politically powerful or politically strong enough to fight the TRS. It is the BJP or BJP candidate who had been contesting that area for the past 2 or 3 times, right from Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha also. So that way BJP is having a lot of public support. It made a lot of inroads to the rural areas, and during the Parliament elections we were number 2, became second in the Parliament elections. So therefore the people are now anti-government tendencies are there, anti-incumbency is there. So these things will benefit the BJP, and our candidate is also very dynamic. He's a powerful speaker and is a TV face of the BJP. So therefore, we are hopeful to win the elections, and that is going to change the course of the political future of Telangana.
Right. So coming to present situation, coronavirus. How do you think TRS government is handling coronavirus in state and in Hyderabad?
Hopeless. It is hopeless. People are handling on their own. See, you have a number of cases daily, every day being reported, and you have only one Gandhi hospital. And then where doctors are on strike, nurses are on strike, and a journalist had to wait for 30 hours to get a bed, and he ultimately dies. That is pathetic. You don't disclose the real death rates. You don't disclose the real death rates for what reason? Today, if you go to all the graveyards and crematoriums in Hyderabad, you see number of COVID patients being burnt every day, cremated every day. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you see the medical report bulletin, they say 9 deaths, 8 deaths. So all you are giving false information to people. In spite of Hyderabad High Court, Honorable High Court of Hyderabad giving direction to the Telangana government to go for to increase the checkups, testings, you have not done so. After all, this needs the corona needs tracing, testing, and treatment. These are the things which you have to go. But how is that? Even High Court found fault with you. Private hospitals are exploiting the common man. Lakhs of rupees being charged for nothing, and you come out with a geo stating that only this much must be charged. Who is following your bloody order? And now what are the steps you are taken for controlling it? People are being exploited in private hospitals. Poor people are not getting beds in government hospitals. The testing centers are not increased. Now we are increased to 24 to 25. But earlier they were only 2 or 3. Why are you not testing? See, even if the number of cases increases, that is not a matter of alarm. At least they will be alert. They will try to go for a home quarantine or something like that. But we are not doing testing also. Then asymptomatic patient is going around the places and is spreading this coronavirus. So this is where the government has failed. The government has failed. You have started teams. You have started very late, and that too even today that is only treating mildly to moderate patients, not the serious patients. There also 1800 beds in the initial stage. There were only 45 patient beds. They were not more than that. I personally visited those places. So therefore, I think that the TRS government had failed to deal with the COVID situation. Apart from the hospitals, even when the central government had come up with giving free of rice, free dal and other things, and you are not able to take the opportunity and take these schemes to the people, one thing. Second most thing is that Arogyasri you have started, and you don't have COVID being covered under Arogyasri, whereas Ayushman Bharat covers COVID. You don't implement Ayushman Bharat. So why are we denying the people of Hyderabad and Telangana from taking the benefits of Ayushman Bharat, where COVID is also covered? You don't allow them. So what is the reason behind it? So the government, one side, they are not bothered about the people's health. Second, they don't want to improve the health sector also. At least now they should come forward and allot more budget to the health sector and improve the hospitals, government hospitals, and they also improve, then appoint permanent government doctors, appoint permanent paramedical staff like nurses and other things. Otherwise, in future also, the Hyderabad city, especially because it is Telangana's capital, is going to have a health crisis here. So that should not happen. It is a world-class city. You must see that people love Hyderabad for many reasons. One of them is that you have got beautiful medical centers. But the COVID has exposed us that how bad we are in the medical sector. So government is failure in all front in managing the COVID situation in Hyderabad.
Right, sir. So being a key member in BJP, what is your lead for developing Hyderabad?
No, definitely we have our own. I told you earlier also that we have our vision for Hyderabad. We want that Hyderabad should develop in all-round development, where people should be happy to live here. They should come to live here. A peace-loving people, Hyderabad, hard-working people, Hyderabad. So they should get an opportunity. So Hyderabad should be. This is a political slogan that save Hyderabad from TRS and MIM. But at least what Hyderabad we want to see is that a Hyderabad, a pollution-free Hyderabad, Hyderabad where people should be given houses. All people should have their own pakka houses because of the Prime Minister Modi's 2023 houses for all. That program has to be fulfilled. Hyderabad with beautiful roads, Hyderabad with beautiful atmosphere, Hyderabad with healthy Hyderabad where no fever, no diseases are spread because of the badly managed what you call your effluent treatments in Hyderabad city lakes, especially Hussain Sagar and Kajagoda Lake. These two places where the effluent treatment plants are situated, they are not functioning. So water which is being drained into Hussain Sagar are totally polluted water, and the air which comes from there, we are intaking it. So a lot of pollution is there in Hyderabad city. So AQI is the air quality index also is very bad for Hyderabad. So we should have a pollution free Hyderabad, and then we should have water no without water scarcity to Hyderabad, power cut free city. Now it is there. It is not because of TRS, it is because of the central government's power policy that today entire country, nearly 12 to 13 states are giving power cut free power supply to the people. So like that, so we have Hyderabad developed, in all spheres, all angles, and as I said, Basti Dawakhan and all, increasing these things to see that people get access to the low cost medical treatment to their family and to themselves.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for joining with us and sharing all the information. Well, that was our today's episode in the Leader of the Week. We'll be back again. Until then, stay tuned.